InsideThunder.com. Powered by Wheeler Whitlock Insurance.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. Greg Durant had one of those nights you didn't want him to have. Was anything different tonight, or was he just making shots?
You got to give him credit. He was great. He was great. I don't know how else to say it. He was fantastic.
Next question.
You kept Westbrook pretty good in check, but some of their supporting cast came through. Adams with a big game, Waiters. What got anything that you could see that got them going?
Down the stretch in the fourth quarter, a couple of things. We made too many mistakes, just not remembering who we were guarding and how we wanted to play. But having said that, they out-toughed us. They battered us on the board, and at the same time, they had some other players that joined in and made shots. So those guys making shots, it's a great job they did on the board, out-toughing us. And Durant having a great night, got him a game.
Anybody else? Questions from Coach? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
She said it was okay.
Look like the Tony Parker of old. For those of us who don't see him every night, some of us couldn't remember he could still play like that. He obviously can still carry you for stretches.
He's been playing well. He's feeling good. He's healthy. He's aggressive. He's passionate. So when he plays well, it gives us a chance. But as I said, they deserve credit. They outplayed us in the fourth quarter big time.
I'd start off by saying this being my first year here, just the environment the last two games here has been absolutely incredible, and I really appreciate. I know the guys do just what the fans do during the games, and just how loud the place was, and what great energy it was the last two games. I thought our guys came back. I thought we battled and we fought. I don't think we're a team that's always perfect, but I think we have gotten better and we have improved and we have grown. But the one thing about them is I think there's a lot of fight, there's a lot of character, there's a lot of resiliency, and today was good to see them battle and fight through. It wasn't an easy game. We were playing from behind, obviously, for most of the three quarters, but our guys just kept battling, and I thought we gave a great defensive effort in the fourth quarter, and they're a terrific team, and it was great to be able to get a win today.
Dean Blevins, CBS, Oklahoma City. Can you talk about going with Enes Kanter in the fourth, and you were able to get putbacks, 10 second chance points there in the fourth quarter?
Well, I'll say this, Serge has been such a big part of our team and our defense and what we're doing, and it was great to see him up on the bench just trying to lead and cheer, because obviously he didn't close the game out. I just thought that lineup there, when we went to it, was playing well, and there was not really a need to sub there. I think those guys were fresh. I was a little bit worried. Steven had 4 fouls, so we switched the matchup, and we put Enes on Aldridge. We were able to get through that. But, again, I think we're a team that's got a lot of size. We got a lot of length. We're able to rebound the basketball. I think the free throw line situation was probably a little bit more characteristic of who we, I think, been, as a team during the course of the regular season. Certainly, I think Enes and Steven played a big part of us getting to the line. And, I thought Kevin, got back to the line himself again tonight as well.
Bill, you've obviously dealt with adversity throughout your coaching career, but this is the first time in the NBA. Big wins in Game 2 and Game 4. What's it like dealing with that adversity here that's different than maybe when you were at Florida with coaching, teaching, adjustments on the fly?
It's different just because I think when you're in a series, there's always going to be some kind of effect from game to game. And, these guys are great guys, and they work really hard. Obviously, you come off a difficult loss the other night, and you got to rebound, and you got to regroup, and you got to try to figure out where you need to get better, adjustments and changes and things we need to do maybe a little bit differently or a little bit better. And I think it's more of a sign of the guys in that locker room, than anything else that enables myself as a coach to come back, because there's a lot of character in terms of competitive character. Like I said, we're not perfect, but these guys really battle and fight and compete with each other and for each other. So, when you come back off of that, you really can go about business, so to speak, to try to, do whatever you can to try to get better for the next game. But you're dealing with during the regular season in college, but it's obviously different when you're in a series right now because it's the first team to get to 4.
Billy, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoma, and you obviously got some great performances and contributions out of guys not named Westbrook and Durant tonight, but it seemed like Dion was particularly locked in. I mean, he's been so good defensively, but offensively, did you guys see something, or did he just emerge in the flow of things?
I do think that they're a great defensive team, San Antonio, and I think I said to somebody earlier, you got to be able to make really good decisions. I thought Russell and Kevin tonight did an outstanding job and an incredible job of really creating help, finding open guys. Randy Foye got some open threes, and his Canner had a corner open 3. Dion got open threes. Serge got some jump shots in the first half. I thought those two guys with the balls in their hands really made great reads and great decisions. And we created a lot of open shots for each other, and that's what you want to be able to do. And I thought Kevin and Russell did a great job just of recognition of what was going on and making those decisions. And they were kind of the catalyst, so to speak. And I thought Dion, we played him at the point. He was able to get downhill and play in a lane. I think that helped us as well. He knocked down a couple shots, but I think when Dion's playing downhill, it's good for us because he is a good finisher and can get to the rim, and he also can see.
Anthony Slater with Oklahoma. Billy, you switched Cameron for Randy in the fourth.
I'm sorry?
You switched Cameron's minutes with Randy in the fourth. What kind of finally made you make that decision, and what did Randy give you?
Yeah, I just felt like, we talked about it before the game, Cameron, that second half the other night, I thought he really took a step in a positive, going forward there. And, listen, there's a lot for him to learn and grow from this, but, to start that second quarter, we just were a little bit out of rhythm. And we had done it before, in Game 2, playing Dion back there some, and I wanted to see what it looked like. It was really just more myself just making that decision to see what it looked like. And Randy's a consummate professional. Obviously he had two games in a row he didn't play, but again, he comes in every day, he keeps himself ready. He's a team guy, he's a professional, and he gave us great minutes coming off the bench on a driving layup, knocked down a 3, did a lot of really good things defensively. So I give him a lot of credit for keeping himself ready.
Nick Gallo, OKCThunder.com. Can you talk about your defense in the fourth quarter? They only had 1 assist in the fourth and just 12 overall. Were you guys able to kind of force them into isolation?
Yeah, I mean, like I said this before, they've got 2 guys in Leonard and Aldridge that they're going to try to isolate and post and do some different things with. And, Parker was very, very aggressive. I thought in the second half we did a much, much better job. I thought Russell made a couple of huge plays defensively against him, which were key. But they're a hard team to guard, just because they do have isolation players. They do put you in situations where a guy like Parker with his speed gets in the lane and generates a lot of help, and they can kick and do those kind of things. But the reason why they're assistant, I'm not really sure. Pop's probably a better guy to talk to than I would be. I just think that we really tried to, as best we could, collectively guard as a group.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. And Billy, you got a pretty good fourth quarter out of Durant. I think he had 17 in the fourth quarter and didn't miss a shot. How much does that help when he's playing like that, and it's almost impossible to stop him?
Well, he was great tonight, offensively, and Russell got him the ball on several plays. Steven did a really good job screening for him. We got him in some space, and I think that's the balance for Kevin. And I talked about this before. Kevin's a very, very unselfish player, and he's a very, very willing passer. I thought the balance the last 2 games of him understanding when to make passes and also when to shoot was really remarkable, because he generated a lot of offense with his passing, as did Russell. But he also, when he felt comfortable and he had space and could get where he wanted to get to on the floor, he obviously took his opportunities and obviously made the most of them.
Fred Katz, Norman Transcript. Before the game, you talked about Steven Adams not necessarily getting a lot of looks, and today you guys found him a lot out of the pick and roll. How are you guys able to kind of make that change and be more successful in those sets?
Well, I think I may have mentioned that a lot of times in the pick and roll, a lot of it depends on what area of the floor it's at and how high it's lifted. And if you're a big guy and that screen's taking place 30, 40 feet from the basket, you're not going to be able to get to the rim. I thought our guards, I thought Russell, Kevin, Dion in particular, those three guys did a great job of initiating pick and rolls from really good areas of the floor where Steven could get downhill and get ahead of those guys to make himself a viable option, and that was good to see because we were able, I think, to put some pressure at the basket with Steven rolling the way he does.